gain a couple of followers there. Looks like nobody's gonna be showing up, you bastards. But you know what? Fuck all of you, because I'm still gonna play Corey Feldman's wonderful, wonderful video. Everyone's favorite video. Corey Feldman Ascension Millennium. But I'm not gonna do it without full screening it, am I? Hell no. Oh yeah, this is the jam. Haha. This is really the song? I don't remember it sounding like this. This song is so much worse than I remember it. Oh, hey, Dollface. People are telling me they don't know how to find my channel. Did you find it easily? I usually tell people to type in Duck Taco and then the word Omega, because it's one of the electronic music videos I put up. I make a lot of music that people can use for background on their YouTube videos. It's free to use for anyone who wants to take the music that I put on this channel. So I made a lot of that stuff, and one of them's called Omega. And if you type Duck Taco Omega, my channel comes up and that video comes up. Then you can click the duck, and if you see in the corner there, I also have my my X-ray duck. I love my X-ray duck. But it doesn't look like even Matt's here. Farmer was coming. IHF Farmer was supposed to be here. Excuse me. Matt said he was coming. Shaban. Oh, there she is. Hello. Tell them to type in search Duck Taco and click the settings on the right to the channel. Like I was just telling Dollface is to. Let me shut this shit off while I'm talking. When I even look for my own channel, because I have a channel where I do only hockey stuff. So when I look for my own channel, I type in the word Duck Taco and then the word Omega, because it's one of the songs that I recorded on this channel, and that video pops up right away. So that's like the easiest way to find the Duck Taco channel with, you're welcome. I don't know if you guys know my history, but I used to have large followings on many platforms, and I was, of course, shut down on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. All my accounts were wiped, and since then, it seems like my IP address, even though I hide it with double VPN, is affected, and it no matter what I do, I can't gain any sort of traction anywhere. But what I have a video here. I don't know. There's women in here. I have a video. Let me ask you guys what you think about this. I live in New York, and I was in the city about a year or two ago, and a girl was in a psych ward, where around, one of the, wherever I was, around. I'm not gonna. It doesn't matter what street it was, and she escaped the psych ward, and she got into a building, and she got to the top and jumped, and obviously she's not with us anymore. I walked up on a scene of a crowd of people on the corner, a lot of police, not realizing there's a girl up on the building. So I take my phone out, I go record the police officer, and as I do that, the girl jumps, and she hits the ground. Now, I'm sorry to say this. I won't play it if you don't want to see it. but she hits the ground, and when you jump off a building, whether it's 15 or 50 stories, you're like a watermelon. You're just gonna explode, and that's what happens at the end of the video. Like when she hits the ground, it's just an explosion of. It's horrible, but that's why I was watching something more disgusting. Corey Feldman's Ascension Millennium video. If you do want to see that video, I will play it. I have no problem playing that video. I actually have it lined up. I'm pretty good with using this program. See, me and Chris use the same program, but I think I
Ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, let's watch. This is a Carly Russell. If anyone knows the Carly Russell story, where in the world is Carly Sandiego? This is no. Sorry. Don't look. That was an accident. Holy shit. I am sorry. I didn't even mean to press. I'm a fucking asshole. I'm trying to get back to Ascension Millennium. I want to get rid of Carly Sandiego here. All right, let's see Corey Feldman make an ass out of himself. I really want to see the live one though. Corey Feldman, GM. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is the one I want to see. This one. Yeah, here we go. Let's watch this fucking garbage. This is a good one. Shaban, I started at NYU on September 9th, 2011. On September 11th, 2011, my brother, who worked in Tower 2 at Morgan Stanley, had me come meet him for breakfast at 7:30. So I was at Tower 2 at 7:30 on September 11th. We walked out. We ate at a little kind of diner place, and when we came out is when the first tower fell. We ran into a parking garage, and we were stuck in there for 19 hours. So that's my story of 9/11. Of course, I lost many people that I love and friends as well.
Get it. All she wanna do is twerk.
This is great footage.
Notice them, they check your life again. Make you beg for mercy, still nobody notice them. Just when you think it's
Have you guys seen this?
No hope in life, so what you gonna do? Every shot flies from exposure. So what have you got to lose? We got nothing to lose, so baby, let's go for it. Come on, let's go for it. We got
it was it was a trying time, and it's affected me in so many ways. People don't understand that people who were involved or lived around what happened at 9/11, even people in Long Island, would have been affected mentally, physically, in all different ways. My brother's firefighter. My brother was actually one of the firefighters. If you saw when the miracle on the Hudson, when the plane landed, Sully landed the plane, the Hudson. My brother was one of the firefighters that was first out in the water there, and he was also in the picture when they killed Osama bin Laden. He's in this picture of the fireman looking up at Times Square with my last name on his jacket. So my family's been involved in a lot of these things. But what are you talking about, Farmer? You don't like Corey Feldman? What do you want to watch? You don't want to watch suicide video. You go watch anything. I'm down. You want to watch the Hermaphrodite interview from the 1950s? Named Lizzie from Mississippi. Great video. Oh, they're bringing the rapper out now. Yeah. I wonder how much FELDMAN had to pay this guy.
Come on now, get it, say it with me, get it.
Get it with him, guys. All the angels, those girls were abused on tour. All the stories that came out. Whoever that rapper is must be embarrassed to tell. Look at it, Michael Jackson. And he says, I don't take any influence from Michael Jackson. Yeah, sure you don't, buddy. Sure you don't. Sure you don't. So that was one. There's also Millennium Ascension. Is that his other stupid video that he has? I don't know. You guys got any ideas? You want to watch anything? Just finished a stream with Christopher, and then I thought Casey was going to be on tonight. I guess we were all not looking at the date, because usually he does the time thing where he just changes the time up, you know. But did you see the music video, Siobhan? Let's watch this. We'll watch this. Corey FELDMAN. He has a new video out too. Angelic to the Core is that's the album. All right, so here's Ascension Millennium, the video. Let me, I don't know if you can hear it right. Let me, Millennium. Can't find my weed. Where the fuck's my weed? John Aston is in this video. Yeah, Siobhan. Do you say Siobhan or Shaban? It's Siobhan, right? Regarding 9/11, just reminded me. Excuse me. Just reminded me that I was 17. I have a late birthday, so I was starting college at NYU, and didn't even start yet, you know. And those buildings came down, and basically what happened was, I never tell people this story, so I'm just gonna talk unless Siobhan, right? Okay, I figured that. Even though I was saying Shaban, but whatever. Shut up. Shut up to me. So when me and my brother ran into the parking garage, now I'm not sure where you live, but in the New York City, the parking garages, sometimes they go down, underground. So we ran down the hill, and all the way in the back is where there was an office in the corner, like glassed off. Farmer? I can't read that one, buddy. Farmer? Firmersonly.com. Yeah, so we ran into the first building collapsed, and we saw it, okay? And we ran down the hill, and all these cars were in there, and there was like a Hispanic man who was working as like, the guy in the garage. He said, run in here, come in here. And at the time, my brother had a cell phone. We had, bad cell phones. All cell service went out, but I didn't have one on me. My brother did. And there was a phone in the office, but none of the phones were working. So my family out in Long Island in Nassau County were, when we finally got in touch with my mother, my father, my brother and sister that were in Long Island, they thought that me and my older brother were dead. So they had her whole family at our house mourning us at that moment because they haven't heard from us, and nighttime came, and they assumed the worst. So my whole family gathered in Levittown, Long Island, in Nassau County, to mourn us. And then my brother finally got through on his phone somehow. He turned it back on. Like, it was like the middle of the night, I think. It was almost 20. It was like 18, 19 hours. And called, and my mother answered the phone, and she said, this person and that person, they're all here. Like, and they started crying and screaming. And, obviously I didn't hear all that, but that's what happened. And it took us a while to get back home. I think KC was talking about his story with 9/11 last night, and that's why I wanted to mention. But KC reads my comments and everything, but I couldn't say all this stuff to him. I did say to him last night that I did agree with him. Just get the hell out of there. Fuck Howard. Whatever. You don't got to go to work. Go take care of your family. Go, with whoever you love. You know what? Like, they wanted to bust on KC on the Howard Stern show, just to bust on him because they needed something to do to make somebody laugh at that moment. So I'm glad KC did come in and take the brunt of that, for the laughter, to bring the laughter back to New York City a little bit. I think that was really great. And I don't know if you read that comment. I didn't really say all that, but that's so crazy. Your family must have the hardest day of their lives and the biggest relief all those hours. Yeah. Like I said, my brother's cell phone was dead, right? So he didn't want to waste the battery just in case the cell towers came back up. And this was the early days of cell phones. It's 2001. So it was, I don't remember, probably a Nokia phone or one of those LG chocolate, maybe. No, I think those are a few years later. But he didn't want to waste the battery in case the cell, came back on. We didn't want to just sit there and waste the battery trying to make calls and it wasn't working. So we shut it off. We, all of the parking garage was dark because the lights went out. It's underground. So we were in pitch black. And the only lights we had were from my brother's cell phone and one flashlight that was like going in and out from the guy who let us in. Thank God, because outside of, we didn't have great air in there, but outside of the glass encasement we were in, the little office, was just all smoke. You couldn't see anything. All the smoke that rushed down the street and barreled down the streets came flooding into all the parking garages down, too. So luckily the door had, that rubber flap at the bottom and was keeping the smoke from coming in. If it was just a shitty door, I mean, we would have suffocated in there. We probably would have ran ourselves to our own deaths by going into that room. Unknowingly, we just didn't know where to go at that point. It might have been even easier if you were at the base of the building and know where to go at that point, rather than being a little further away and seeing the rush of smoke coming down when a building collapses, and then you see the billowing and the rolling smoke. You just don't know where you find the first place to run into. So we just see an opening. It's a parking garage. Boom. Never ran so fast in my life. And luckily that the guy called us in, and we didn't know he was in there. We were just running in there to get away from the billowing, the barreling, whatever you want to call it, smoke. And then we, the guy opened the door, and he was scared shit. He was shivering. He opened the door and yelled and told us to come in, and then after a few minutes, I think I got mad at him. I said, I think you just put us, like, you killed us. I kind of said, I think we just trapped ourselves. But luckily we didn't. And, I don't tell that story a lot, and you guys, I've never met, I don't know you guys, but I am open to talking about this kind of stuff. What I do is there's a lot of people, I have PTSD from that. I see a therapist still. And I also there's a thing called seeking safety. It's like it's not a 12-step like AA or NA, but it's 12 steps on how to deal with your PTSD. So I teach those classes once or twice a month at one's a rehab and one's a psych ward. So I go to a rehab the second week of every month out East Long Island, and then a psych ward by me. And I do step 1 with them, and then the next time I do step 2, step 3, you know, these are all long-term facilities that I go to, and I it's called Seeking Safety. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I guess Matt didn't come and nobody really showed up, so you know, I guess I'll just end this now. I am gonna thank you for coming. Yeah, it's much easier to talk to strangers about it, but it's even more how do I say this? It's easier when I know that people aren't going to say like you guys, or you specifically, Siobhan and Farmer here. I know you're not going to be like, you're full of shit or whatever, because that's normally like, you know, and there have been a lot of people. Like there was a lady who pretended her husband died, and she wasn't even in America. She was leading like the wives of the 9/11 victims like community. She was like, and then she got caught she was lying. She wasn't married to anyone. She was just a nut job from Spain. But, you know, so people lie about it all the time. But, you know, I have a very unique story, as in, you know, I graduated high school in 2001, and then in September I moved into Manhattan on the 9th, and then 2 days later, where my brother worked, he invited me down to, you know, the World Trade Center on September 11th. So it was a very weird, you know, like I was going to go to Hofstra, not NYU, and I ended up last second going to NYU. Then I ended up in the 9/11 rubble, and, you know, it was a disaster. But I hope you guys subscribed, because I do streams all the time. If you look at my live thing, you'll see videos, but if you look at live, I do live streams a lot. I like to just go off the cuff. I don't script anything. I'll just go, you know, randomly look through stuff. Tomorrow, I'm going to be looking through Hunter Biden's laptop. I do have one video where I've done that before, but I'm going to go a little deeper. There's a folder that I didn't go into last time. I'm also going to be showing a couple of interviews from the 50s, psychiatric interviews that are really interesting, with the hermaphrodite, the multiple personality disorder lady, another one. I've already done one of those. Thank you so much for subscribing, Siobhan. You're the only one left in here, you and Farmer. So, yeah, lots of people have no qualms about being lying scumbags. Yeah, and it's not even anymore. It's back then, like literally a week or two after. Oh, damn it. I almost burned one of my jerseys. A week or two after, there were people lying that they were there, or their, you know, family member passed away and they didn't. Like, why would you lie about something like that? You know, maybe I understand people for attention want to say, hey, I saw the plane hit the thing. I didn't see any planes. I was there. I never said saw a plane hit anything. You know what I mean? If I did, I'd tell you. I didn't. But people will lie about things like that. They'll lie and say they were there, blah, blah, blah. You know, I have proof I was there, so I'm not worried. But I don't tell this story to a lot of people, because most people do say it's funny. It's like almost like I know a couple of my uncle's a famous actor, right? I'm not going to tell you who he is, but if I did, a lot of people would be like, yeah, right. Like a famous actor doesn't have a whole family and friends too, you know. And I live in New York, like, you know what I mean? If you live in New York, you grow up around people that become famous. You know what I mean? I grew up with people that are famous rappers, like from Long Island, that are famous right now, and you know, different bands, like guys from the Strokes and Interpol. I lived in the buildings with those guys. I don't know if you know those bands, but, you know, people lie about stuff. So I don't talk about those things like that unless I know the people are actually listening and believing what I'm saying, because there's no reason to. I don't want to tell my story and then have someone, you know, say prove it or whatever, because it's hard to talk about. It's not something I like to remember. You know, it's not the best thing to remember. All those people that right in front of my face died. And I think Siobhan mentioned it, or someone, I think it was you that mentioned it. Yeah, one of the guy, wasn't he on that show? The guy who lied. He was. What show was he on? About the show about the guys who do like the fantasy baseball. That show. The guy who was in that show. And also, Hillary Clinton lied about Chelsea Clinton doing jogging around the World Trade Center that morning. And if you watch this is a little promo. If you go back and look at my videos, one of my videos that I have on here is where I expose Chelsea Clinton and who her real father is. Check that out. Yeah, his name isn't very famous. He doesn't have the most famous name, so I don't remember it. He was on Howard Stern, where he took. That's where he originally told the story, and turned out to be a lie. Yeah. Don't remember his name. He's not really that important of a person. I don't think anyone in Hollywood's important, but yeah, like I was saying, I'm not going to go in front of a crowd of people and tell that story and have half the people saying he's full of shit, blah, blah, blah. I don't need that bullshit. I was there. I'm not going to make up a story that I wasn't. I mean, if I lived in Nebraska, maybe whatever, but everyone that knows me knows I live in New York. I went to NYU. I started that year. I mean, it's almost impossible for me to have not been there, you know? And it was horrific. In my head, I'm thinking of all the people that just died at that moment. And I knew that when that building fell, how do you not know that all these people are going to die, right? You got to know, because not everyone gets out of a building like that, especially when the plane hits, and you got some people from above where the plane hit did get below it, luckily. But, a lot didn't. A lot didn't. But I think what I find really funny is that they found in pristine condition all the passports of all the hijackers. All their passports were just pristine. They were made of a special paper, I guess, that no one else's was, because everyone else's ID was all. I mean, they found some IDs and stuff and returned them to the family, but for the most part, all wallets, IDs, passports, all that was all destroyed, except for the hijackers. They had those all mint condition. Ironic? Weird? Yes, I think so. I believe so. So yeah, when people make 9/11 jokes, I don't get offended by them. I think, in 2000, what year was it? I started 2001. So in 2002, I started learning. I went to Second City, which is like a comedy writing school. They have, people came out of Second City in Canada and Chicago and LA or whatever. And then New York had a school. So I was learning how to do improv and comedy writing and stand-up comedy, which I did for a couple of years. So I learned that, making light of even horrible events can help people. I never got on a stage and made any 9/11 jokes, but other people did, and they didn't offend me, and this was in New York City, 2 years after it happened, at the Laugh Factory. In 2004, I was in the New York Comedy Festival at the Laugh Factory, and what's his name? The guy who can't remember his name right now. He's the guy on the couch from Half Baked. One of the best comedians of all time. I can't remember his name. Either way, he made a 9/11 joke, and it was hilarious. It was just hilarious. But yeah, I do have a video that I did probably a week ago where I show Chelsea Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, then Hillary Clinton's, who she cheated with, Webb Hubble. I show a picture of him, and then I pull up Chelsea Clinton again, and I show you how they look like daughter and father. Then I pull up Webb Hubble's other daughter, and then pull Webb down. Whoops. And then I pull Chelsea back up and put the daughters next to each other, and they look like twins. I think it's hilarious. People shouldn't be so easily offended anymore. Everyone walks around with a chip on their shoulder. People need to lighten up. Yeah, they do. And that's why I'm kind of a loner. Like I stick with, like, I have my friend Stacy that I hang out with. Like, I really hang out with like one or two people, because a lot of people can't handle me in public because I don't give a fuck. Like, a lot of people, like even my father, who was a cop, very tough dude. He looks just like John Gotti, my father, right? Like, if I wear this hat, "Make America Great Again," or this shirt that says "Beware of Democrats," or my white privilege shirt, or this free speech shirt, if I wear something like that, like, people get mad at me. I've been attacked in Walmart for wearing shit like this by little 18-year-olds with pink hair that run like little bitches when I turn around. But I don't even know how I got on that subject. But I don't care about saying or do. I'll say what I want, and if I'm in public and someone has a problem with something that I'm wearing, because I do wear a lot. Like, if you look here, that's the Trump signal. I don't know if you guys are, if you don't like President Trump, that's on you. This one says political prisoner. This one is the Trump signal. If I wear those in public, people make comments to me. I don't bow down my head like, oh no, I'm gonna make. No, I like to debate them, and they of course run away. And me and Chris did call out Richard Ojeda, and said, for $50, will you come on the stream and debate either me or Chris? And what I said is, we don't need a second. Like, I'll debate anyone. And I say it on Twitter all the time when someone responds to one of my tweets, or if I respond and they say something back, I say, how about you? I'll send you a link. Come on live online right now. We'll debate, because I don't need any time to study or look up shit. I know it off the top of my head. You might need 2 weeks to try and defend yourself, but I'm going to expose you anyway. And none of them ever want to do it, of course, because they're against free speech. Pete Davidson, his father was one of the first firemen to go into Tower 2. Yes, and he died with the whole team in there. Pete makes jokes. Yeah, that's very true. I don't like Pete Davidson, not a fan of him at all, but that's very true. And he uses it to, I would say he uses it to grieve. It's a part of his grieving process. So, we're supposed to have a opposing to, yeah, and debate them, right? But you know what? No one wants to debate people like me, or like, well, I don't know. You guys weren't in the stream that we did, me and Christopher, on the Cut of the Jib. We just did a show right before we popped into KC's thing. We do it every Friday at 7. He has not allowed me yet to stream it from my channel as well as his. But that's okay. That's cool. It's his channel. I'm his second mic, and that's fine. But we do a good show. We pick 3. If you guys are interested, we pick 3 topics each for every week, and then we go on them. Today I picked, because I do live in Long Island, I found multiple videos of the teachers in all. I have 3 kids in the school system here. Teachers from all the districts, from my town, the town next to me, the town east of me, west, north, south. All these teachers are part of a group called LGB Teach, and they're not letting you know they're part of this, and they get together, and what they do is they talk about how to indoctrinate your children into trans stuff without telling the parents, and they talk about how you get around it, how you read the books without saying, hey, I'm going to read a trans book. You just read, Sally has 2 mommies, and Willie wants to be a dinosaur, or whatever the fuck these books are. And also, funny thing, Barack Obama said, I don't know if anyone saw Malik Obama, his brother called him gay. Barack Obama said, he said the other day, he said, they're trying to ban all the books that I grew up on, and that made that, he said, they want to ban the books that made my life or solidified my lifestyle or whatever. And all these books are about gay sex. So his brother tweeted under him, this man is very gay, Malik Obama. Hilarious. He did delete it, but then he went on an interview and said, of course he's gay. Joan Rivers, just a week before she died, said, Obama's gay. We all know Michelle's a tranny. She then went into a minor procedure and died after she's done millions of these minor procedures and hasn't died. That time she died. Not a fan of Trump as president, however, believe he's a great businessman. Always liked him before he was president. Find him entertaining. People should support whoever they like. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you could deny that you've seen a better president since Reagan, though, have you? I don't care what someone's politics are. This country is in the shitter. Absolutely. Wish people, especially the pink-haired ones, usually purple hair for the most part, you refer to would stop and open their eyes. Yeah, this is still the best country on the planet. Absolutely. There's a reason all our ancestors came here. My grandparents, wow, you know what? You just opened a can of worms, buddy. I'm going to tell you another story about me. I don't know if you want to hear it, but I'm going to say it. My grandparents, rest in peace, they both died in the past year. They were kidnapped, okay, when they were babies in the 30s. My grandmother lived in Marseille, France. She was kidnapped as a baby from the family, right? My grandfather lived in, I forgot the name, but outside of Rome, like, you know, like 20 miles outside of Rome in Italy. He got kidnapped as a baby. They were both brought into Africa, into Tunisia. They grew up as babies up until their 20s as slaves, white slaves in Africa. Remember that. And this is not in the 1800s, okay? My father was born in 1956 in Tunisia into slavery. My father, who was worked on Rikers Island, he was an NYPD cop, was born in Tunisia when his parents were slaves, white slaves. Okay, so the slavery thing. When I hear people tell me that they have some ancestors that were American slaves, first of all, that's bullshit. It's like 1% of the people in this country have an ancestor that was a slave here, and the first slave owner in America was a black man. But besides that, my grandparents were actual slaves. They escaped Tunisia through I don't know. I don't want to lie and tell you the story the wrong way. They got on a boat with my father, who was under a year old, or maybe one at the time, and got to New York. And you know, I don't know how they became citizens or whatever. I don't know that story. But so my grandparents were slaves in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and almost the 60s. They were slaves in Africa. Africa still has slavery going on today, more slavery than America had ever had in its entire existence. And plus, slavery went on for thousands of years before people even knew that this land existed. But they still claim that America is where slavery happened. It's like outrageous, especially because it's still going on, and the people who have these slavery issues that like all they want to talk about is slavery and reparations. They don't care about their homeland, Africa, where everyone's a fucking slave. Oh my God. Yes, it's way more complicated. Most of the people selling black slaves in Africa were black people. Most of them, all of them. Well, there were white colon, you know, obviously British, but in the beginning, the Africans sold other Africans, of course, and it was on the, you know, on the west coast of Africa, the Gold Coast. So, is it the Gold Coast? Is that what they call that? So all the ships would come there, mostly from the Middle East. The Middle East was the biggest had the biggest amount of African slaves, other than Africa, because Africa, of course, had the most slaves, and they still do. So when someone says they want some reparations, say, hey, I'll buy you a plane ticket to Nairobi. Just go check it out, buddy. Have a good time. You know, I don't want to say too much about my family, but my wife is from Africa. She's African. Like, you know, she's from Kenya, and she's Somalian and Kenyan. And, you know, people call me racist. I have kids with my wife. So if I'm a racist, that would mean that I hate my wife and my kids, her whole family. You know, these people don't make any sense. They just want to put you down in a one way or another. And, that those kind of people are dwindling very quickly. There a lot of people waking up, and these nut jobs are now they're freaking out. That's why there's so much going on with the grooming of children, all this stuff, because these people are freaking out. They have no one left. Now all they have is little kids that they want to groom because adults aren't dealing with their shit anymore. No, they're not logical. They're never they have no logic whatsoever. They can't even use logic on things that I might even agree with them on. I can't even, I don't know what I agree with them on, so I can't think of anything. But it's been fun, Farmer. Thank you for coming. I hope you subscribe, because I do streams like this often. I have guests sometimes. No, I'm a realist. That's right. If you look at this channel, it says "Welcome to Reality." It's the first 3 words when you open Duck Taco. And Media Odyssey is also the same thing. The Media Odyssey channel that I have, That's where I like to put up weird media clips and stuff like that. But it has 2 strikes, so I started moving everything here, and I lost a lot of followers. Just disappeared off that channel. It says I have like 75 followers when I had a couple of hundred like a couple weeks ago. Either they're gone or YouTube just deleted them. I don't know what happened, but I opened this channel like 2 months ago, started using it. So I appreciate you guys. Siobhan, thank you so much. I'm gonna, go check on my puppy because he wasn't feeling good today. Maybe, hopefully, he didn't pee or shit anywhere. And I'll see you guys in KC's stream tomorrow. And if you see me live, come and say hi. You don't have to listen to my bullshit. You can come watch my videos later if you want, whatever, if you like the topic. But I will do one thing before I go, and because you guys are pretty cool, actually very cool, I will give you a round of applause. So thank you very much, and have a good night. Thank you, Siobhan. I appreciate that. I like to use the sound effects. Chris doesn't really use those. All right. I'll see you soon, guys. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Hey, and if Casey never doesn't show up, come over here. Every time he does that, I'll be here. Peace. I didn't think I'd last 45 minutes with a couple people. I really appreciate it. All right. Good night. Hopefully I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm going to end this with, when you get a new program, you want to just figure out things. End it with this music. This could be my ending music here. Maybe this one. I like how you use the duck emoji background. Let's read about black fragility, discomfort, and defensiveness. Hello. What was that?
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8.
I did not press this. What the fuck?
5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, I see what's going on.
1. Go.
Hey everyone, welcome to Strange History. Shit. But this is a Rumble exclusive, so it's not only Strange History. Rumble exclusive video. Tell you a little story, a little ditty about Jack and Diane. Let me get this prepared. This woman right here, and I'm not making any connections between this one person and the person I'm going to show you show my interaction with. But let's make some comparisons. Megan Garant, 37 years old, interference with public duties, resisting arrest. Now, this person was arrested, obviously all covered up. You didn't know if it was a man or a woman. When one Antifa person was being arrested, this is one of the idiots that comes in with a medic patch on, saying, "Who's hurt? I'm the medic." Mur, mur, mur. That's what this person did, and when and got arrested for interfering with the other person being arrested, who was not hurt. I don't need to show their pictures. You've seen those ugly motherfuckers that love this kind of stuff here. It's just anyway. Before I get into Strange History, I want to show you an interaction I had with an Antifa medic. If you have Twitter, you can look at that account and you'll see that this person is clear. It says, "I am an Antifa." But then in this, what we're going to look at, also claiming to be a medical professional, bullshit. Now here's the thing. I loved when people on Twitter or wherever, if I
don't
say
know
something,
how
and then
this
they have
video
some,
came up. How do I
"You're
even stop
stupid,"
this?
some woke stuff. I go, okay. If anyone's still here, that's a Rumble exclusive video that I accidentally thought was a picture, and it turned into a video. And if anyone's still here, I'm gonna play the suicide video. One more time. All right. Talk to you later.